everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raven Maureen, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my pattern review for McCall's 8585. Now, if you recall this pattern, this came out, I believe, the spring of this year. I know it was this year, but I can't remember if it was spring or summer. I want to say it was spring though. Either way, if you've been watching my channel all year, you know that I have been obsessed with this pattern, and I have been trying to get to making this pattern for quite a while. So when I started cutting this out and I started making it, I just was on a roll. And it's taken me a little bit longer to make it than I typically like to have my projects done in, but it's okay because this was a labor of love. I was really into it, and I can't wait to share all of my thoughts and notes on it. Okay, so let's cut to what McCall's 8585 is. This is a women's vest, shorts, and a maxi skirt. The vest in both pictures is actually the same vest pattern. So, and I'm going to talk about those views a little bit later on, but I just kind of want to get down to like what this pattern is. The suggested fabrics are chambray, chino, lightweight denim, linen blends. The supplies you'll need are fusible interfacing, 5 3/4 buttons, a 3/4 vest buckle, and then if you're doing B or C, one invisible zipper. But if you decide to do both like how I did, you'll need 2 invisible zippers. This pattern runs between sizes 10 all the way up to 38 women's. So it's a really great size range. I'm here for it. All right, so let's get to what I did. So like I said, I made all 3 views because I was obsessed with all 3. I used a baby blue linen fabric from Fabric Wholesale Direct, and I ordered 5 yards. So this linen is, I think, 55 to 60 inches, right? So I say all that to say, like, when you look at what to order, make sure you're looking at individually how much you need for the top, how much you need for the shorts, and how much you need for the skirt. What I kind of did was I took all those numbers that I needed for my size and I rounded up, and I ended up getting around 5 yards. So I said, let's just order 5 yards. 5 yards was like just enough. I think I have a little bit less than a yard left of that fabric. For this, my size 22 women's, my bust was a 44, waist was a 37, and my hip was a 46. So I have a little bit of ease in all of those areas with the exception of my waist, right? And then when I was making view A, which is the vest, I did use some buttons that I got from Fine Fabrics on my last trip there. I did order a vest buckle from Dritz through Amazon. Now, I will tell you that I was very nervous about, and that actually took a while to get to me, even though I have Amazon Prime. And I'm bringing this up because we all know in this current landscape that we're in, we don't have, at least not for me, I live in kind of like a fabric desert, if you will, or a fabric store desert. For me, I am depending more on ordering, and so something that I likely would have found at Joann's, I did not have that luxury anymore. So I ordered this, and unfortunately Amazon kept pushing the date back, kept pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. And again, I have Prime, so you know that's kind of atypical of them, but I waited and I eventually got it and I was able to move on. But imagine if I was like on deadline. That would be terrible. So I did get the vest buckle, and it does help tremendously because once I got done making the vest, I saw like, oh, it's kind of boxy. But then when I actually applied the buckle and like kind of moved it across the buckle part in the back, I saw where it started to take more form to my body. And then I was like, okay, I love this now. But at first I was a little nervous. I do like this vest because it's not lined. It actually has a facing, which I think is great for warmer temperatures. So it has like armhole facings. It's got front and neck facings, and then there's a facing down around the bottom hem. I will say at first I was like a little nervous because the vest pieces, they're funny. They're like kind of funny shaped. Like you can tell it's going to be a vest, but you got to do some sewing first. Because looking at the pattern shapes, I was like, I was very curious as to how all of this was going to come together. So I was grateful that it did. But if you don't like to iron, if you don't like to use a pressing ham, don't even bother with this pattern, because I definitely had to iron. I definitely had to use my pressing ham. I definitely had to trust the process. But it all came together really well. So I was really excited about that. And then the skirt and the shorts were easier, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was being really lazy with the hems and the invisible zippers. Like once I realized, like, dang, I gotta do two invisible zippers back to back, not just one but two. Like, I'm being honest, like I was not looking forward to sewing in two invisible zippers. I'm someone where, like, I really like for my invisible zipper to line up properly with the waistband and stuff like that. And if it doesn't, if it's off even by a little bit, I have to start over. And unfortunately with the skirt, I had a little bit of trouble with it lining up with the waistband in the skirt. And after a certain amount of time or times trying it, I gave up, and I'm like, this is probably the best it's going to be. And then I had to weigh, like, is anyone really going to see the back like that? And if they do, why are you looking under my vest? So I had to weigh a few things before I stepped away from like giving up on the invisible zipper completely. But yeah, so and then I tried to see if like maybe I could do an exposed zipper instead, because to me those are a little bit easier than invisible zippers. And no, I had to do the invisible zipper anyway. I did take about 2 inches off the skirt before I actually hemmed it. This skirt is obviously a maxi skirt, right? But it was giving me like Edwardian vibes. Like if I just put maybe a long blazer with it, I would be in like full on Titanic wear, right? But because this was a vest and it was a maxi skirt, I felt like it was definitely 21st century, but the maxi, just something about it was just giving me like Rose on the Titanic. So I took it in a little bit on the sides and kind of gave it a little bit of a hip curve seam line to kind of match my body type. Because the skirt was, I wouldn't say it was giving A-line, but there was just extra fabric on the side. So I took it in just a smidge, right? To just kind of give my hips some sort of shape on this. And like I said, I took it up about 2 inches before I hemmed it. The shorts were less dramatic. I did want them to be a little bit more modest. Not necessarily like, I feel like, and this may also have to do with her height, I feel like these are really short on her. So I didn't adjust the length on mine at all. I kind of wanted it to be more of a classier vibe when it comes to the shorts and the vest. So that was pretty much what I did with that. Would I make this pattern again? 1000% yes. I really like the vest, and I'm really hoping that this type of vest trend does not go away anytime soon, because I really, really love this style. It's nostalgic in a lot of ways. Like it's giving 90s, but in a really good way. And I feel like vests are, especially when you've got like the high collar like this, they're very like, I feel like they're friendlier to me than the V-neck ones, because I feel a little bit more exposed in the V-neck vest because I am a little bit bustier. And so the higher neck ones like this one, I'm really enjoying because I don't feel so out there. I don't feel so naked. Now, I always get this question when it comes to doing certain patterns. I did not do a full bust adjustment on this one. It does have princess seams, which I feel like really lent itself well to my body type. And like I said, the vest buckle on the back, if you pull it and adjust it, it really starts to make the vest fall in line with your body and really accentuate your lines. And so I feel like you don't necessarily have to tweak this pattern because again, it also has, like I said, the size range goes up to 38 women's. So I feel like this is actually a really great pattern, especially if you have a larger bust like me. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. All right, you guys, so that is all of my thoughts for McCall's 8585. If you have any more questions or comments, leave them down below for me. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.